great players, extremely manner players. It's been a pleasure to cast them this evening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, players and teams, for providing us with these games. Now, I do believe that we have one of the team captains joining us.
We do. We have the captain of YMCMB that would like to join us this evening to talk about these matches. And it looks
All
like
right.
he's ready, so I'm going to go ahead and pull him in. We are going to lose the video of Gallegation as
But
we add
we'll have that hair cam when he leaves.
add Mr. Guitar Cheese to the call here. Weird thing is we usually keep your video for a few seconds, and then Skype's like, oh, wait a second, gotta take this
Wait a
away from you
minute.
now. Guitar Cheese, are you there?
You're very, very quiet.
Oh, okay, there.
There
There
you
it
go.
is.
What's up, guys?
Welcome this evening.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, is this a video thing, or should I remain webcamless?
Do not have Skype Premium, so there is no video, sorry.
Okay. So what's up?
So, obviously, these were incredibly hard-fought matches, super long ones. How did you feel entering the match before knowing any of these players, seeing what they were going to play? How did you feel coming into it?
I'm pretty familiar with most of the SCA roster, just because they've been around for a really long time.
Sure.
And they were definitely the strongest team, I think, out of all the teams that we would be playing against in this tournament. But we still felt pretty confident based on our roster we had. But when we actually entered the clan war, we were missing 3 of our best players. So
Oh, wow.
we were a little nervous going into it, but we still managed to pull off the win with Drunken Boy, kind of getting a lot of wins. So we were pretty happy about it. So we were a little more nervous than we thought we would be. And they were really good. They showed good games.
Yeah, they were really exciting games, and especially since you mentioned you were missing several of your key players, as you say. What were your considerations as you were considering your lineup going against another really strong team in the league so far, StarCraft Ascension?
Well, I opened up. I wasn't planning on opening up with this clan war. I'm not particularly good versus Protoss, and I got matched versus a Protoss right off the bat. So I kind of got knocked out right in the beginning, and I would have preferred to send out more of a scouting player to see what we would be matched up against. But if we had our main roster, we could respond to who they sent out first with a really strong, like, kind of sniper player, and hopefully they would have been able to carry out an all kill. But instead, we kind of added the players in as they came online, who were also part of our roster, into the lineup. And thankfully, they performed well, especially Drug Lord, and Hodor performed well as a moral support throughout the chats.
Absolutely.
So it was interesting how it kind of turned out, but all the games were really close. So
Very close, insanely
Very, very
close. I think the edge of my seat is slightly more worn now than it was when we started.
So you mentioned before that you feel like .SCA is one of the more difficult opponents that you'd be facing in this tournament. Now that you have gone up against them and you have come out with a win, how do you feel moving the rest of the tournament?
we're definitely confident in our chances. There's still a bunch of good teams left that we have to play, but we feel like we can do a pretty good showing, and our players are really good and have been practicing hard, so hopefully we can perform well. There's still teams that are on SCA's caliber that are left, and they're definitely scary. So
I mean, going into this, you had a 50-minute game,
Yeah.
and it was, it was an incredible game of chess, as it seemed, and, it required a lot of stamina, especially from Drunken Boy, who had already gone through, what was it, two or three games at that point. So he may have been a little bit drained going into it, but coming out of it, he seemed a little bit different. So going off of that, I mean, how much does stamina of play, is that a strong or weak point for you? And how do you see that being a factor going forward if you have some more of these long games?
He was definitely really worn out. Like, he even said, "I don't want to play anymore" after doing that, because that was his fourth game and he was going into game 5. So he definitely was worn out, and he had a bit of a different showing in the last game versus Estrella, which Estrella is a really, really good player on SCA. Like, he's definitely, I think, their best player. So nothing like putting down Drunken Boy, but it was a close game for what we had left stamina-wise from him. And you always have to think, like, if he's playing for literally 2 hours straight, you can't really expect him to close out. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, at least over 2 hours of straight playing. So we're happy that he performed as well as he did, and he put up a really good showing in the last game.
Well,
So
especially considering that last game was so long and he had played so long going into that game.
yeah, he
That
had
seems like that would be a
almost a
disadvantage.
collective, yeah,
Yeah.
almost a collective 3 hours, I think, something
Yeah.
close to that. So it's pretty
Very,
incredible.
very intense. Kudos to him. So you're currently number one in the point rankings. You are claiming 63 points, and Complexity Academy and Gear in the Rear are very close behind. They are sitting at 54 points. Do you think you can maintain the lead that you currently have?
I'm not familiar with the Gear in the Rear roster. I know they're a 2v2 kind of clan, so I'm not exactly sure what they can bring out. But I am familiar with the Complexity team. They're actually using their academy team for this tournament. So I am confident that we can close out good series versus them. I am familiar with the Complexity Academy roster, so I feel good versus that. And as long as the Gear in the Rear roster isn't too scary, or they have like hidden players that I don't know about, I feel like we can do well.
Well, that's good that you have that confidence going into it. And, next week you face SMI, which is another team to not really bat a tear at as well.
Definitely.
I mean, what will your strategy be going into that? Similar to today's? I mean, without giving away too many secrets.
Well, they had like one of the strongest rosters, and unfortunately they did lose a lot of players recently. So we're hoping to just send out one of our strongest players first and maybe close out an all kill right away. Kind of confident with that, but hopefully we can get some good games going. We'll see what happens.
Great, and we had some questions prepared, but I just had another one pop in my head I wanted to ask you. Looking at the bracket format, given that you're in first place right now, how important is it to you to secure that basically 2-week bye into the playoff bracket?
It's important because we don't have to play as much, but at the same time, it's fun to play these series. So I do want to win, but I wouldn't be super disappointed if we did lose, just because we get to play more series and they're always fun.
Absolutely.
But I am confident that we can maintain the first place position. So
Great. Well, it's been a pleasure to cast you guys. I'm glad we had the opportunity here. I mean, we've overlooked some of your games before, unfortunately, because they weren't very close. You've been looks like you've been kind of blowing through your opponents so far, and no one wants to see a 5-0 all kill, even though it's awesome to see on paper. And you guys look so strong, and it's been a pleasure to come across you guys meeting such a high caliber team such as SCA. They've been awesome to cast as well. So congrats to both of you guys in getting this far in the tournament and doing so well. And we certainly look forward to casting both teams again. And thanks for joining us also.
thank you. You guys did a great job casting. I was very entertained.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
So,
Do you have
see
any
you guys later.
shout outs before you take off? Anybody?
shout out to all the team members. They did great in our team. They did great in the series versus SCA. I'm proud of them. Shout out to Drunken Boy for having lots of swag, and shout out to Casey Knight because he's my favorite human being. That's about it.
You have any Twitters or sponsors or anything you want to share?
My personal Twitter is at denial_Tarkov. I play for Denial Esports. You might want to check them out. They're a pretty cool team. We have Claire Ice and Tilia, and you might want to look at other players who were featured today. They have their own individual Twitters. I think they were mentioned throughout the stream. I don't have memory of them though, off the top of my head.
Great.
But
Well, like I said, thanks again for joining us. It was a pleasure to cast you guys as well as SCA. We look forward to seeing you in the future, and good luck going forward in the tournament.
thanks a lot, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
it easy.
Well, that'll about do it for us. For
Yeah, we had a
tonight.
long night of casting tonight. We're an hour over our scheduled time, but this match was just too good to pass up. I mean,
Too
it
good.
has been an absolute pleasure to cast it. I've been so energized and on the edge of my seat. Just these games were absolutely amazing.
They sure were. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Real quickly, just wanted to let you guys know that you can find us at SC2CTL on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. Check out the tournament page at SC2CTL.com. Big shout out to our sponsors, Das Keyboard, who will be providing the 5 keyboards to the winners of the tournament. So that's really exciting. Thanks a lot for doing that. And check out their keyboards. They are pretty awesome. Follow Gallegation and Wingnut SC on Twitter. We'll let you know when we're on next, who will be casting, and what the cool things are going on within SC2CTL.
Our next broadcast will be Thursday of this week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so be here or be square. Keep an eye on those Twitters and Reddit for the posts containing that. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. Give us any feedback on this cast you would like to on Twitter or Reddit or Facebook or any of those. We want to hear from you guys, and it's been a pleasure casting this evening.
Absolutely.